Okay, so let's try and unpack this. Think about it. Almost everyone you know online, they're probably looking at the internet through, that little rectangle in their pocket.
It's kind of amazing when you phrase it like that.
Right, because the latest numbers, this is from May 2025, show that over 96% of people getting online globally are using a mobile phone.
That figure is it's huge. Right. It really points to this massive and pretty quick shift in how the whole world connects.
It really does. And, it got us thinking, the device you use, it's not just about getting online. It fundamentally shapes how you interact with everything, right?
Absolutely.
We actually got this great stack of fresh data from a listener focusing specifically on global internet use, broken down by device type, for this month, May 2025.
Yeah, and this is so important because it's not just knowing that people are online. It's about, where are they? What screen are they looking at? And how does that change their whole digital experience?
Exactly. So our mission for this deep dive today is, to walk you through this data. We're going to pull out the most interesting bits, look at the behaviors tied to each device, some are quite surprising, and figure out what this whole picture of the digital world in 2025 really means for you.
Think of it like getting a backstage pass, seeing how billions of people are actually using the internet, right now.
Okay, let's jump right into that landscape then, because if there's one screaming headline from this May 2025 data, it's definitely this. Mobile phones are, overwhelmingly the main gateway worldwide.
The numbers just completely back that up. 96.3% of internet users access using a mobile phone this month. I mean, that's nearly everyone who can get online.
And it's not just about, initial access. It's where the activity is happening. Get this, 63% of all website traffic globally came from mobile devices.
63%. That's almost 2/3 of all the digital traffic happening on phones. It's staggering.
It is. But what's also fascinating, and the data shows this clearly, is that while mobile is just dominant, other devices haven't vanished. Not at all.
Right. They still play really critical roles for a lot of users and for specific things people do online.
Like laptops and desktops, for instance. The data says they're used by a pretty significant 61.5% of users.
Yeah, it's still a clear majority of people online using them. It's just not that, near total dominance you see with mobile.
Right. And then you see the sort of expanding universe of other devices, which kind of reflects how the internet is weaving into, everything. Connected TVs used by 31.7%.
That's the streaming effect right there.
Totally. And tablets are at 27.9%. Still hanging in there.
And it goes beyond just the main screens. The data shows smart home devices popping up. 17.9% use those for some kind of internet access. Game consoles, 11.5%.
Even VR is on the map, 4.3%. Small, but it's there.
And interestingly, you still have feature phones.
Yeah.
The basic ones. They account for 4.5% of usage. It's a good reminder that the digital world isn't the same everywhere.
So it's this kind of dual picture, isn't it? One device is clearly king, but the court is getting, more crowded, and everyone has their own job. What does all this diversity tell us, really?
I think it suggests that the internet isn't like a single place you go to through one window anymore. It's becoming this constant layer across lots of parts of our life.
Yeah.
Work, home, entertainment.
All integrated.
Exactly. The sheer variety of devices points toward a much more sort of integrated digital life.
Okay, so that's the lay of the land, what people are using. But these sources also dig into how they're using them. And this is where you really see the device itself kind of shaping the behavior.
Oh, absolutely. Mobile phones, no surprise here, they're all about the quick hit. The data shows they're mainly used for, quick searches, checking social media, messages.
Yeah.
That kind of on-the-go, bite-sized browsing.
Yeah, and you see that reflected in the peak usage times, right? Commuting hours, little breaks, maybe evenings.
Exactly. It's grabbing your phone for that fast check-in or interaction whenever you have a spare moment, wherever you happen to be.
It's the default quick access tool.
And there's a really critical point the sources make here. In many parts of the world, especially developing regions, a mobile phone isn't just preferred. It's often the only way to get online.
Right. So it's not just behavior, it's about basic access.
Precisely. It's an infrastructure thing that defines the whole online experience for, billions of people.
Now contrast that with desktops and laptops. Very different story.
Totally different.
Yeah.
These aren't for quick checks. The data paints them as the workhorses, still. Preferred for productivity, anything needing focus or just a bigger screen.
Like spreadsheets, deep research, writing, complex stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And so naturally, their usage tends to peak during traditional work hours.
Makes sense.
And the demographics tend to lean a bit older and towards professionals who really rely on them for those more intensive activities. It feels like that's where the heavy sort of cognitive lifting often happens online, maybe because the interface just suits it better.
That's an interesting point. It's not just convenience. The physical setup might actually dictate the type of mental engagement you have.
I think so. The bigger screen, the keyboard, the stable setup, it all lends itself to tasks that need sustained focus, detailed work, in a way that maybe a small touchscreen doesn't quite match.
So task complexity really seems linked to the interface preference.
It suggests a pretty fundamental connection, yeah.
Okay, speaking of interfaces then, tablets and connected TVs. The data shows they're heavily skewed towards, well, entertainment.
Oh, massively. Streaming video is just huge for these. The sources actually give this almost unbelievable stat. On iPads, streaming makes up 81% of the traffic.
Wow, 81% just for streaming.
81%. Just think about that. 4/5 of what people do on an iPad is just watching stuff.
That really crystallizes it, doesn't it? These are primarily consumption devices, often for visual media.
And the usage patterns fit that perfectly. Popular in the evenings for casual browsing and obviously watching shows and movies.
So you end up with these really distinct profiles, don't you? Mobile, quick, social, on the move, desktop focused, productive work, tablets, TVs, relaxed entertainment.
It's like the device itself kind of influences your mood and what you intend to do online. It's not just a neutral tool.
Which really highlights the why behind choosing one device over another for a specific task. It's not just habit. You've got factors like speed, purpose, even location.
Speed and connectivity definitely play a role. I mean, mobile internet is way faster now with 5G rolling out.
Sure.
But your traditional desktop connection, maybe wired or on good Wi-Fi, often still gives you like higher average speeds, maybe lower latency. That can matter for data-heavy stuff or real-time things.
And it comes back to that purpose-driven use we talked about. Social media, short videos, they feel made for mobile, right? Quick, visual, done anywhere.
While desktops still win for tasks needing that screen space or complex input.
But what's really interesting is how location seems to matter less now in some ways.
How so?
Well, the data shows that even when people are at home with a laptop or desktop right there, they're often still defaulting to their phones for a lot of browsing and even streaming.
Huh. That's fascinating. So the phone isn't just the out and about device anymore. It's becoming the go-to screen even on the couch.
Seems like it. Which kind of leads us into something else this data really points to, this rise of multi-device use.
Ah, yes. That's a big one.
It's not just switching between devices during the day, it's using several often, like at the same time.
Yeah, this is a really visible trend, especially, the sources say, among younger people, Gen Z, millennials. You see it all the time, right? Texting on the phone while watching something on a laptop or TV.
Or working on a laptop with a tablet open next to it for notes or something.
Exactly. It's simultaneous use.
And the data seems to link this behavior to people in urban areas and those with better connectivity. Does that suggest this multi-device juggling is partly enabled by just having the infrastructure, like good networks, lots of devices around?
That's a really sharp connection to make. While habit and preference are obviously involved, the hint towards urban, highly connected areas suggests that maybe this seamless multi-device experience isn't, equally available everywhere.
Interesting. Like another layer to the digital divide.
Potentially, yeah. It's not just if you're online, but how seamlessly you can weave multiple digital touch points into your day-to-day life. That could be a factor.
Okay, so let's try and pull all this together. We've looked at the device landscape, the different behaviors, why people choose certain devices, this multi-device trend. What are the really big takeaways from this May 2025 snapshot? And crucially, what does it mean for you listening?
Well, first and foremost, I think, is that the global shift to mobile, it's not just happening, it's kind of happened, and it's still growing fast. If you're online, a huge chunk of your time, and most other people's time, is spent looking at a phone.
Definitely takeaway number one. But don't throw out your desktop just yet.
Not at all. They are still absolutely vital for certain things, certain users.
Yeah.
Especially for work. Anything needing that deep focus or bigger screen.
Right. And takeaway three, device choice isn't random.
No, it's this complex mix, isn't it? Your age, where you are, how good your connection is, and maybe most importantly, what you're actually trying to do. The device often seems to prime the activity itself.
And finally, the data makes it pretty clear. For a growing number of people, especially younger folks in connected areas, the online world isn't just one screen at a time anymore.
That's right. Juggling multiple devices, often simultaneously, has become